Let's look at the marketplace. The stock market is still in a negative territory. Stock prices are still tepid, and of course, the unlisted securities market got a bit of that yesterday. What is Temple Ashaju, by the way? I guess it's at the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Our studio's downtown there. I'm sure that's where he sits every day, looking at the numbers and trying to get a sense of it past all of us. Temple, good morning. Come into this conversation, please.
Good morning, Bosun. So we went down yesterday again. We saw the markets losing some 110 billion naira actually.
Yes, Temple, yes, I just want to share about 30 seconds of your time. We're on a very tight list, but the SEC is verifying thousands of claims of folks who were involved in that Ponzi scheme in Kano State, the Dantata success, whatever, investment. So when folks get themselves involved in very messy, dubious, and illegal investment schemes, which are unregistered, it's the SEC that usually go in there to clean up the mess, and this is one of it.
Correct, Bosun, and this is just a lesson to a lot of people, I should say, because these are not investors actually, people who actually fall for all of these kind of seeming investments which are really not investments. They're just Ponzi schemes out there. It's a big lesson for them just to be very careful so you don't get to lose your hard-earned money. We've said this time over and over again on this program, and even at different forums on social media, we've said it several times for Nigerians to steer clear Ponzi schemes. They will always come. Unfortunately, they have a way of affecting generations after generation. Because if you've asked some people that have actually participated in things like MMM and things like this one that actually happened in the East way back, you know, they will tell you that they no longer do it anymore. They don't participate in it anymore. But it's because we have new generations coming up every day. Those are the kind of people that become gullible and they fall victim of Ponzi schemes. But we just have to keep passing out this particular message so people, you know, get forewarned about Ponzi schemes and their dangers.
It is always that attracted the whiff of money, tempo that attracts people to easy money when promises are made, and folks, even the SEC, the stock exchange, everybody talked about it. Yes, folks usually get drawn like ants to honey. Anytime you have this, look at that very crafty name that the folks those folks did in Kano. It's called Dantata Success and Profitable Company.
Yeah,
that's using someone's name who is already a successful businessman in Nigeria, and they situate it in Kano, where the name, once folks hear Dantata, everybody just queue up with thousands. Now the SEC is trying to verify 4,000 persons who invested in this dubious scheme. Perhaps one day they could just use my name. Maybe I need a name change. But okay, Temple, let's just hang it there for today. Let's have that conversation for another day. But nobody should use my name. Boosting Success, whatever company.
Sure.
What about the stock market? Let's go back to that for about a minute or two. Give us the numbers.
Yeah, sure, Bosun. We lost some 110 billion naira yesterday in the market. This is not a Ponzi scheme, I should say. This is equities. Volatility plays out well here. You can invest and lose, and then tomorrow you gain again. You could make some good profit. So that's the way the market is. We invest in companies that do have fundamentals. That's how market is. It's not a Ponzi, I should say one more time. Well, yesterday we were down by some 79 basis points. We lost 110.02 billion naira. There's losses that were extended from last week's Friday's trading session down into this. And of course, this poor performance was driven by sell-offs across 4 of the major sectors. Talk about the banks, talk about the industrial goods, the oil and gas, the insurance segment of the market, in spite of the fact that we're seeing some investment, some buy side in the insurance side of the market. Yesterday, sovereign trust insurance and, of course, consolidated hallmarks were key names under the insurance segment of the market that also boosted the losses. And, of course, heavyweights like Nestle, Dangote Cement, and, of course, GT Bank are 3 key names that moved in terms of activities for the markets. But yesterday, we saw some improvements in terms of activity level in the market, some 75% increase on the volume of transactions. The energy side of things, corn oil has seen suspension listed on its shares, and of course it's declaring some dividends to investors So we continue to see some investors, taking position in that. But Total and, of course, Eternal Oil experienced some losses yesterday. For the USI of the unlisted securities market, we got a decline of some 17 basis points. We saw a volume of some 54,590 units of shares traded there yesterday. And of these 54,000 units of shares traded, Niger Delta Exploration Production Company actually delivered some 40,000 units. For the fixed income market, the bond side of things continued to look kind of attractive. We saw some offshore investors coming back with interest on the longer tenured securities there. If you take a look at the likes of 23rd February 2028, that's a major security that had the attention of some investors there yesterday, offshore investors specifically, given the 18 basis points decline that we saw in inflation in the market. And of course, that brought about a yield of some 26 basis points decline yesterday in the market. For the treasury side of the market was also very, very bullish, Bosun.
Yes, thank you so much. Temple, stay bullish. Let's get back to you towards the end of the program. Let's change tack a bit and talk about the commodities market. Inflation yesterday came in at 11.22%, sharply lower year-on-year basis than 11.4% previous. And the social media still very active, very hot this morning. Folks are asking if food prices are down as we report inflation coming down from the Statistics Office. Nosike Nwajide is a member of the economic think tank at Financial Derivatives Company's live here to put answer to this question. Is the inflation figures believable? Can we trust the numbers?
I think at this point it's important to note that when inflation figures fall, it doesn't necessarily mean that prices fall. So most times it doesn't mean that prices fall at all. It just means that prices relative to last year, June 2018 and June 2019, prices, the rate at which prices have increased have slowed. That's what it means. Okay. That's what it means, really. So that just put it in layman's language. I get a lot of this, and I put it out there. Okay, fine. This was good news. Let's be happy. And folks says, "Hey, Bosin, no, you're not sure." Then this morning, I read in the newspapers the folks meeting with the cattle, the herdsmen, and farmers said, "Look, food prices had been relatively stable, whatever it is." So we're trying to find out. When you say relative, that means it was going up 100 naira. Okay. It's now growing up at 98 or 95. Not that it's coming down to 50. No. Or 30. Not at all. If it was growing at, say, the pace was 10%, and now it's growing at 9%, it's still growing. It's still growing. Just at a slower pace. At a slower pace. That's what it means. So it's not really that food prices are trending lower. No. That's putting it there for you. How to understand inflation numbers. So let's talk about what else is in consumers' crosshairs this morning from FDC. Okay, cocoa. What else is burning? Cocoa market is cocoa prices. Cocoa prices, and not necessarily prices. There's a news of what you would call an OPEC moment between Ghana and the Ivory Coast, the two top producers in the world. I have called for something like OPEC. I've called for Cocoa Producers Organization, something like that. Yes, but this time it's not, because OPEC is focused on crude oil and the market share, trying to control prices by controlling how much they produce. But this collusion is focused on, okay, let's put a premium, a $400 premium on prices, basically, to help the farmers. Last month, they wanted to have a price for a minimum price of 2,600 per metric ton, but I think that strategy has changed to... Which was the flaw then? Yeah. Which was the flaw they were trying to achieve? They changed that strategy to having a $400 per metric ton premium on prices, really, to help farmers and boost production. But make sure the farmers get a better share of their sweat. It's something that may lead to a boom and bust scenario, because if you increase prices, I mean, all the other producers in the world, even Nigeria and other cocoa producers, will have incentive to boost production. Okay. And when that happens, you have a glut in the market. Then you go back into the same cycle. Yes, it's a cycle. Okay, so if we just add sesame seeds to that agro-product conversation before we wrap it up. Okay, sesame seeds, it's something that about 6 years ago, Nigeria produced about 1 million metric tons per annum. Then that's our capacity. Today, it's down to about half of that, about 500,000 per annum. What happened? Well, it's not really clear, but of recent, it's the conflict, the pastoral conflict is one of the reasons. The thing about sesame seeds, it's something that it's growing in demand. It's something that it's the sesame seed oil It's one of the inputs in today. It's growing as an input in oil and the food industry because it's very healthy. Contains a healthy type of fat, which is it's hard to get. It's just really from sesame seeds, and Nigeria it's something Nigeria could focus on in Q1.
Is that what we used to make for soup and things like that?
Yes, it's a food ingredient. We have a lot of.
And very healthy too.
Yeah, it's very healthy. It's very healthy. It's expensive to produce. Have a little bottle like this, and we're talking close to $200 for a little bottle. It's about $1,500 per ton. $1,500.
So a whole lot of money.
Yes, it is.
And I could just grow that in my backyard.
Yeah, you could.
I could. I'll think about it. Let's talk about that after the show. Thank you. Nasike Nwajide, who is a research analyst at Financial Derivatives Company. When we come back, we're looking at the economy and markets in the second half of the year. Some forecasts are out there. We'll take that with some outlook as well from United Capital.